But I want to ask you, if you could only be stacking silver or gold, what would you pick? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you blast that subscribe button and get the bell notification clicked. That way you get updated with any new content. Very excited to have with me once again, Senor Spegtacular. How are you?
Very good, man. Let's talk about silver versus gold today. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. If I was asked, Stormy, do you prefer silver or gold to stack, what would you choose? And I would choose gold. I'll talk about why in a minute, but I want to ask you, if you could only be stacking silver or gold, what would you pick?
That's a tough question. Okay, so I'm not going to give you my reasoning, but I will say gold.
Okay, so we both align on if you could only have one or the other. We both agree gold. Now, since I started, I am going to ask you, why do you like gold better than silver?
So I'm going to be a copycat on this one, and I'm going to copy what any large, powerful country does, and it is stack gold, right? That is one of their biggest holdings of value is other countries out there. Think about China, United States, Russia. They stack gold, right? And you hear about that. Do they have silver holdings? They might, but it's not really their focus. It's gold. So I'm a copycat. I think that if big countries of power are doing it, that we should be doing that too. There's a reason behind it.
Now, don't large countries or countries in general, though, don't they also hoard silver, or not to the magnitude of gold? Do you think they use it more for industrial purposes as opposed to holding this as a store of wealth?
I'm sure, like any other, commodity out there, like gasoline and stuff, that they do have a certain store of it for certain needs. But you never hear about the country's giant silver hoard, right?
Sure.
You always hear about their gold stores, and you hear about big banks hoarding silver. That's definitely something we always hear about and how they're manipulating prices. But you never hear about the gold from countries. I'm sorry, the silver about countries. It's always the gold.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Now, for me, the reasoning as to why I prefer gold over silver, I would have to say, just from aesthetic purposes, just from the standpoint of the beauty of the metal, I prefer gold to silver. I just think that when you hold a gold coin in your hand versus holding a silver coin in your hand, the feeling that you get from owning gold, looking at your gold coins and what have you, I think it's a better feeling, right? That's why they say that you got bit by the gold bug. In terms of wealth storing, Yankee Stacking had said this to me early on, and it stuck with me because it made sense. And I never really thought about it until one day when I was doing a full stack video. He said that the nice thing about gold is that you are stacking densely. You're packing a lot more wealth into a 1 ounce coin than you are stacking in silver. Because I haven't checked the gold silver ratio in a while, but what is it at? Like 80 something to 1 right now?
Something like that, yeah.
So you can essentially, stack, 1 ounce gold coins as opposed to like 84 or 90, whatever it's at right now, 90 silver coins. And, this kind of really, became very clear to me when I was doing a full stack video, and I was making several trips to different places to get all of my silver and to lay it out on the table. Whereas for the gold, I was like, yoink, oh, just one tube at the time or whatever. It was a lot easier. So I was thinking, if there's ever like a fire in the home, like, you got to get everything out. Like I would just take the gold and just say to hell with the silver. So I like gold for the beauty and I like gold for the stacking densely thought behind it. What's another reason that you prefer gold over silver?
Well, I sort of can see your thing on the beauty thing. The density thing is 100%. You can't deny it. You look at what's on top of this silver bar right here, and this stuff is all just light. I can walk away with this stuff. I could put even more of this stuff in my pockets and run if I had to. It wouldn't be a problem. How are you going to put 200 ounces in your pockets and run? If you got to get out of somewhere quick, if some kind of event does occur where you need silver and gold as money right then and there, you're not going to be putting a bunch of silver in your pockets. There's no way. Even just one little tube of silver eagles in your pocket, and that's rough. It's a rough day. You're gonna have to wear a cup as you're running because you might have some
Yeah.
you might have some problems.
And let me ask you this, because behind the scenes, you know, when you and I have spoken and you've shown a lot of stuff on camera on your channel, you do have a significant position in both metals. Have you ever thought of essentially culling down the silver hoard into just like, a few tubes of the pieces that you like the most, and just really like essentially just taking all that silver and just converting it into gold?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why, is because I do believe that there's ever a scenario where gold becomes money again, like it has in the past. And you can argue the point that it's money right now. I would disagree that it is currently money, like as we want it to be. Let's just say it that way, as we want it to be, or as it was in the past. I believe that if there ever is a scenario where that occurs again, that silver is also going to be money again, and so is copper. And that's why I think that I need to hold all of it, because if it ever does occur, and it seems more and more likely every single day, although who knows, we can't tell the future, it does seem like it's getting worse and worse out there. But I think that we're going to still need silver. And there's not going to be a need for only gold. You can only chop this up so many times before you start losing it, right? And we saw in the past, they had some really tiny gold coins. They had $1 gold pieces. Other countries had smaller denominations. Yeah, right there. Those things, how are you going to hold those? And I lose quarters in my pocket sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to not lose one of these things right here?
Right.
I mean, those are crazy. You're going to need what I would call the change, and the change will be your silver and your copper. So no, I'm not trying to get out of it. I think that if ever there is a day where gold becomes money, that also silver and copper will be as well. And so I do have a position I'm going to keep in all of it. I'd say my larger position is in gold, but my larger position looks like silver because of what we talked about earlier with the density.
Yeah. So monetarily, in terms of dollar value, you've got more behind the gold than the silver. Now, I would say same for me. I do collect some silver pieces, and the majority of the silver that I am buying, I buy and sell. And then with the profits, I either buy more inventory, or every once in a while I convert some of those profits into gold and put it into the stack. But, without a question for me, I would always pick gold over silver. Now, a lot of people will also say silver has more potential to rise in price, which is true. When we look at all-time highs, gold had hit intraday trading all-time highs a couple years back. I believe it was like around $2,075, somewhere around there. And we know that silver hit all-time highs either like 2008 or 11, sometime around there. It was like $48, right? So now silver's sitting at right around what, 25, give or take, and gold is sitting at around 1960, 1970, somewhere around there. So gold is still sitting pretty close to its all-time highs, whereas silver is about half of what it once was. So if you're looking at, just where metals have been, yeah, silver can certainly rise for sure. And it could go above and beyond that. What would cause something like that to happen? who the heck knows? It could be, a major economic issue, either globally or here in the country. A whole host of reasons can cause the silver price to go up. I think that people right now should be stacking both metals. I think that they're both still fairly affordable. But, if I had to pick one over the other, hands down, gold for me.
Yeah, and I think that question is important because when you're talking about what's better, silver or gold, which one does have a potential to double in the next, let's say, 10 years, in the next decade? Well, the way things are going, maybe all of it, but silver does have in my opinion, a more of a chance to hit that doubling point. But I think that it's important to get a little bit of everything. Ultimately, you should be stacking all three metals, really, right? You should be stacking gold, you should be stacking silver, and the third metal, silver collectibles, because those really have a chance to double, don't they?
They do. And I'm glad you said that. I thought you were actually going to say copper, and I was about to disagree with you in terms of like the three must stack metals. This is something that I've preached time and time again on my channel. I recently recorded a video where I do an unboxing of roughly $14,000 worth of stuff, or $11,000. I forget the exact number, but essentially I show the viewer how much I paid for each item. I completely am transparent on my prices, and I talk about what those pieces can go for. And a lot of the margin is made on the semi-numismatic and collectible silver pieces because they have a lower price point. They have lower mintages. People are a lot more willing to spend, $35 on, a dolphin coin, or on this new euro here, the Golden Eagle, made by Germania Mint. They're a lot more ready to spend on one of these coins as they are on, a 1/10 ounce gold coin, which is going to cost them like $240, $250, depending on what the piece is. So the semi-numismatic stuff, I think people should take advantage of the hobby and look at some of those pieces and buy some of them for their collection, for the fun of it, because they want to be able to look at the pieces, as opposed to just buying generic buffaloes and silver bars for the weight, because that's the more, fiscally responsible thing to do, I guess, from like the stacking for weight standpoint. But when you're looking at long term and how you can grow your wealth, you should definitely be stacking some of the silver collectible stuff.
Stormy, I need your help real quick. I'm going to put 3 items on the screen, and I want you to tell people the approximate value of each one.
Oh, man.
And that is going to kind of show people the density difference in these 3 different metals.
Please,
and I know
don't
we talked about
me.
No, it's not going to be a stump situation. Don't you worry, you. No, it's going to be 3 different ones, but
Sure.
I'm going to throw copper in the mix, even though this is a silver versus gold debate. But I'm going to throw copper in there too, just for funsies. So I'm going to start with this one.
All right.
100 ounce.
Yep.
Go ahead. Tell me the value.
Oh, okay. So if you're looking at $25 an ounce just at spot price, and I'm rounding here, you're looking at $2,500 on that 100 ounce piece. Now that looks to me like a vintage piece, if you will. So there's probably people that would buy that for like collectible purposes as well. So you're probably actually paying a little bit more of a premium on that. But if we're just talking metal content and spot price, then you're looking at like $2,500.
Yeah, we'll focus on metal content for this little demonstration. All right, next piece. Here we go. Don't let it stump you.
All right, 1 ounce buffalo. Those are going for around like $2,070 right now.
Oh my gosh! Oh, can you hear this thing?
I can. Next. What is it? What do you got? 10-pound copper bar. Look at that thing. 10 pounds. I only know like ounces. So, geez, help me out on this one, because I can't do all the calculations in my head. What is the value of that thing?
Well, when you talk about silver and gold, you talk about price per ounce. When you talk about copper, you're talking about by the pound. So copper usually teeters now about a little around $4. I think it's actually a little bit lower than $4 per pound. So you're looking at $40 worth of copper right here, and that's it.
I didn't realize that they did it by the pound because I know that the spot price. So when you're looking at spot price and you see copper, is that based per pound?
That is price per pound.
Wow, I learned something new, and I've been doing this for quite a while. I always assumed it was the ounce. So, yeah, people who are watching this video, all 16 of them, you're looking at look at just the size. Slide it to the right. Slide it to the right. There you go. 1 ounce of gold, 2,070 bucks, 2,500 on that silver brick, and $40 on that mega. Looks like a gravestone. That thing is huge. I personally don't stack copper. I I would rather just put that money into another silver coin or something. If time comes where I'm like, oh crap, I need to make change because we're dealing in silver and gold and copper only, then I would worry about that at that time. But that's to me that's too much weight, too much space.
Yeah. And that's why most people don't stack copper is because the space starts to get crazy. And the only reason I brought it out versus the silver and gold debate is just to talk about space a little bit because we did mention how gold is just much more portable than the silver is. But this right here shows you why copper is not the greatest thing to get into. Yeah. But in an event where SHTF happens, you're going to probably, in my opinion, need all three of these for the equation of being money now. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now, like we mentioned, each one of these bars and rounds, yeah, everything's going to have a premium. Copper, even though it's $4 a pound, this copper bar does have a pretty good premium on there. It takes some extra effort to get copper into this form and to stamp it up, and you pay for all that stuff. But yeah, man, silver versus gold. I'm gonna have to say gold is the ultimate, but that does not mean that I'm going to stop collecting silver by any means. I'm going to go hard on both. My portfolio is going to be a little higher on the gold, just because it is a huge store of wealth, and I believe that these big countries that are able to call themselves power countries end up having a stack of gold.
Totally agree with you, Speg. It was really awesome having you back on. Let's continue to do these videos together, and I'm looking forward to our next session for sure.
No, this is the last one. No, I'm just kidding. We can do more.
Sounds good, buddy. I'll see you on the next one, pal.
All right. Thank you.